And hey guys, it's me, Simon Comics, and I'm doing a random live stream. This is just totally unplanned. I didn't announce anything. So I don't expect too many people to show up, especially the fact that it is unannounced and um, it is a weekday, so it is Monday. First things first, I want to say thank you for getting me past 200 subscribers. I believe I am around 211, around there. Yeah. Um, First off, it's a Monday, weekday. People are working, coming home from work. It's 5 p.m. 5:30. Uh, but I haven't been doing too many videos. Hey, Dr. Bonchilla. And so I've been picking up some books. Just want to show them off, and I have more books coming. Actually, I have a lot more books coming. I have Tales of Suspense, Adventures of the Fly, and a Captain America. My holy grails are Captain America comics 1 through 10, and I actually got a part of my holy grail. So, keyword was a part. So, and I'll give you a clue. It's Captain America comics issue number 1. But like I said, it's a part of my grail. But yeah. So I want to thank you for getting me past 200 subscribers. I will be announcing contests soon. If you do watch my channel regularly, you will see this setup seems a little weird. Either my camera's flipped or whatnot. I actually did flip the studio. It was originally on the other side of the table, so all I did was move this wall to the other side. This allows me to film during the day when there's sun out. There's just not as much glare. But enough talking and onto the haul. So, um, first up, let's get Forever People number 5. So, here we go. Make sure that there's no glare on it. So, Forever People number 5 from DC Comics. From November of, I forgot what year. But we all know Jack Kirby, Forever People. And issue number 7 is the first Steppenwolf. So, but this was actually gifted to me from my friend Robert, who lives in Texas. And he sent me these. He knows I'm a huge Simon and Kirby fan, and I love Sandman and Manhunter. And this was actually the first time in comic history where they reprinted the Sandman stories that appeared in the Adventure Comics books by Simon and Kirby. So this reprints Adventure Comics number 84. A really nice book. He said he had like 3 of these. He bought it off the rack. So he decided to send them to me. I appreciate that. And he also gifted me number 6. Number 5 is in better condition, and I actually prefer number 5 story over number 6 for the Sandman. One day I will get around to reading the Forever People story, but it's not really that important to me right now, unless one of you guys out there says that's really, really amazing and something really worth checking out. But this reprints Adventure Comics number 75, The Villain from Valhalla. So that's really cool. So next we have a book from 1955. Yeah, 55 or 50, yeah, 55. So this is Foxhole. And if you guys are on Instagram, go check me out at Simon_comics. I post a lot of like basically you'll see it there before you see it on my YouTube channel. But oh, that's perfect timing. But Foxhole number 6. This is actually a Simon and Kirby cover. Hold That Hill. Foxhole was actually from Simon and Kirby's own studio called Mainline, and they did Bullseye, they did Police Trap, they did 4 comics, 4 series, and Foxhole was one of them. And Hey John's Comics with Kids. So Foxhole was from Mainline Comics, which was a studio started by Simon and Kirby. They decided, let's start our own studio instead of working for DC or for Marvel. Let's just do our own studio. And they had the 4 titles in their company. It didn't do so well. They said, "Oh, your books are selling great. They're selling great." Start developing new ideas, and one of the ideas, Joe Simon had an idea, and he brought it to Jack Kirby while they were still at their studio of Mainline, and oh yeah, John's Comics with Kids said, I'm hunting for that first full appearance of Darkseid. Yeah, that's Forever People #1, I believe. Um, yeah, I think that book's starting to really go up in price. But so Joe had an idea, brought it to Jack while they were still at Mainline because they had to develop new titles, and they developed it. But then they got the news that Mainline didn't sell as much as they thought that they were, and so the whole company basically closed down, and they went to DC Comics, which they had worked for previously, um, and so they said, do you want to continue our series? Our Foxhole ran up to issue number 5. So they said, do you want to do number 6? And you could start and what worked for you. They didn't want to pick up an old series that went out of business, but they said, your new idea, which Joe had that Jack and Joe developed, was actually was a little idea called Challengers of the Unknown. And I'm going to interrupt my story. Dr. Von Schiller says, Forever People is kind of boring relative to Kirby's early to mid-70s output, whether DC or Marvel. Dig into the Demon before anything else. That's a stupendous Foxhole cover. Yeah, this Foxhole book's really nice. The Demon, I've heard good things about it. But so they developed Joe's idea into Challengers of the Unknown, and Joe was really the businessman out of the Simon and Kirby team, and so Joe said, I don't like this deal with DC. They are offering to pay us for Challenge of the Unknown. We would work there, but the thing is, what about all our other titles that closed down? Who's gonna pick those up? So Charlton picked up Foxhole, and they continued it with issue number 6. These Foxhole books are super hard to find. The Simon and Kirby Foxholes. They're really nice, great war books, but they're so hard to find. Foxhole, I am looking for issue number 1, The Day at the Beach. I have issues 4, 5, and 6 now. I need 1, 2, and 3. But they're really hard to find and not cheap. But yeah, so Joe didn't want to do the deal with DC. Jack needed work, so he said, let's just do the deal, and Joe wasn't on board. So Joe said, you know what, it was my idea. We did develop it together. He said, just go do it at DC, and Jack went to do it, and Joe never got any credit for it. So that's that. And now, this next book is actually my first ever slab book. By one of the three big grading companies, PGX, CBCS, and CGC. This is a CBCS case, and this is Avengers number 5, graded a 2.0. The cover is married. I bought this off of another YouTuber named One-Legged Books. I'm sure you guys are familiar with him. He's a great guy, former police officer. Loves Captain America, and he upgraded his CBCS 2.0 to a I don't know if it was raw or not, 5.0, roughly 5.0. But he did the haul video, and I commented almost jokingly. I said, now that you got an upgrade, I have Avengers issue number 4, and I do like only the early Avenger books, and I said, if you want to let it go, because now you have 2 copies, let me know. But that's just when you want to let it go. And he said, just email me. We could definitely work something out. You're a big Cap fan, and this is Cap's in this book. It says second full Silver Age appearance of Captain America. Yeah, so he charged what he paid for it. He paid $20 for it. So he just said, just give me $20 and whatever shipping. And I really appreciate that. Dr. Von Schiller says, gorgeous classic Silver Age Avengers book. Yep, this is Silver Age Avengers. I only like the early Avengers issues, 16, issue number 16 and before. Those are really the only Avengers books that I like, in my opinion. Um, yeah. But I don't have a problem with a married cover. Some people might. For me, it's still an Avengers 5. I am sort of debating whether to crack it out of the case. I would actually like to read it, but it's already slabbed. I wouldn't slab this book myself. And if I personally don't slab books, but now having a slab, I'm not opposed to buying a book that's already slabbed as long as I do not have to pay for the value of it being slabbed, if that makes sense. Um, John Williams Jr., he's saying hi to everyone. Finally caught you live. Yeah. My live streams are really unannounced. I probably should start announcing them when I do them. But I just like to jump on here, whoever's available. So really quickly, and there's one more book that I picked up, and that's actually a book that's in my background right now because I like it so much, and it's so nice. It's actually that Justice Traps the Guilty number 56. So we have Justice Traps the Guilty number 56. This is a... I want to get no glare on this. It's so nice. Justice Traps the Guilty issue number 56. This is a Marvin Stein cover, and this is from 1953 November. Prize Group. It's a really, really nice condition book. For 1953, especially this. I'm not a good grader. I have no clue when it comes to grading what I'm doing, but I would have to say this is at least, like, really lowballing it, like a 6.0, in my opinion. Got this off of eBay. The seller was asking, $95 for Justice Traps the Guilty number 56, and I made them a best offer. We're kind of going back and forth, and we settled on, I believe it was $50 plus $5 shipping. So I saw a really low grade, like a 2.0 on my comic shop, sell for $54. So I'm just really happy with this book, and this is a classic lineup cover. If you're like me and you're obsessed about the creators of comic books and the people who are actually involved, you might recognize some of the people on here. So from left to right, we have Ben Oda. He was, at least this was what was written in the comic book makers. He's famous for opening a Japanese restaurant a week before Pearl Harbor. So we have Joe Simon, one half of the Simon and Kirby duo. He's also the guilty one. And notice he's the tallest. He towers over everyone. I don't know how you say his last name, but Joe, Genaldo, Ganello, bad with names. Mort Meskin, he is a great inker. He worked for DC a lot. He was really great. And on the right, Dr. Von Chili, he says, I'll give you 70. I don't think I could ever let this book go. It's a book I've wanted for a long time. And on the right, you might notice that's young Mr. Kirby. So, Kirby, Meskin, Gonaldo, Simon, and Ben Oda. So, I really like this book. It presents so nice. The only flaw with it, I mean, there's a little ripple, but it's not water damage. It's just from picking on the cover over here. Pressing would help, but the only thing is this bottom corner right here. Yeah, right here. There's a little piece missing out of it, but other than that, it's a really nice book. So this will be in the background from now on. So I just want to tell you guys what will be coming in the next, you know what, I'll be doing a live stream. No, I don't know what day it's coming, but I have Tales of Suspense. I have a bunch of Marvel books. Tales to Astonish and Tales to Suspense. I have Adventures of the Fly, issues number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15 coming. And I have in the very beginning, for the people who weren't here, part of my Holy Grail. I actually got my Holy Grails are Captain America comics 1 through 10, um, and I actually got a part of issue number 1 of Captain America comics, the first appearance of Captain America, the Red Skull, Bucky, all these. And keyword is it's a part of. So it's actually not the full book, it's not the cover, but it is a page from the book. And um, it's Dr. Von Chilla says it's not here. Let me take it out because I'm not sure what you would call it. It's not a missing corner. It's I don't know how you say it. Yeah, that way you could see it. So, but other than that, it's really nice copy. Oh, hey, Discovery Bay Comics. Yeah, so just showing off a haul and what to expect. I will be getting, like I mentioned, I will be getting some Adventures of the Fly. Out of all the Adventures of the Fly books, I only want issues number... Yeah, Dr. Von Chilla, it's just one step closer for me getting my Holy Grail. Get a page from Captain America Comics issue number 1, and I actually got a really good deal on the page from Captain America Comics number 1. It's the most I've ever spent on anything comic related. I'll tell you the price when I get it. It's a page. It has Hitler on it. It has Captain America on it. Captain America in the chest piece. It has Steve Rogers, Bucky Barnes in their military uniforms, and it's just a really nice page. So like I said, for me, the only books out of the Adventures of the Fly line, the Fly, created by Joe Simon. There was great artists that worked on the Adventures of the Fly while the Simon and Kirby studio were on the title. There was Jack Davis. I think Al Williamson. I think he did some work on it. Bob Powell. Who else? Neil Adams did one page in issue number 4. People on the Fly. And for me, I only want to collect issues number 1 through 4. And I have 2 copies of number 1, 1 copy of number 3, and now I just bought on eBay issues 2 through 15, excluding 14. So very happy. The guy wanted $100, and I messaged him. He said the lowest he could do was $75, and you know what? Then I just bought it from him. John Williams Jr., I saw you mention the Demon. I gotta put those books. I always see them, but my student stuff forgets to get it. Speaking of the 4 I just picked up number 1. Oh yeah, no, number 1. For people, number 1 is, I think the thing that people don't really it's not as well. You see, the same thing could be said about the Superman, the Superboy book, about the Jimmy Olsen book. Darkseid's not on either one of those covers, but I think who's on the cover of Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen? Superman's on it, so I think people resonate more with Superman because he's so iconic compared to the Forever People in issue number 1. 75. That's a good deal. Yeah, it was 80 shipped. But I plan to keep issues 2, 3, and 4. Issue 3 is a lower grade than the one that I already own. Issue number 4 is such a hard book to find. You wouldn't believe. Adventures of the Fly number 4 is really a hard book to find, especially because it's Neil Adams' first work in comics, first published work. Yeah, and so I think I actually might sell the other books, issues 5 through 14, excluding 14. The Demon books, I heard that Jack Kirby based the Demon books off of something else. But I don't know. I don't really remember what he based it off of. Yeah, but I think I'll be selling the Adventures of the Fly, the other issues that I don't really necessarily want, um, just to recoup some of my money for the issues I do want. So I'm glad I basically finished my Adventures of the Fly run. Um, I also am getting some more Tales of Suspense Marvel. I did sell some of my Marvel books um, just to pay for the page of um, Captain America comics, the page of Captain America comics #1 that I would be getting. So I had to sacrifice some of my Marvel books to get that page, and but I am very happy to finally own at least a part of Captain America comics #1, and hopefully one day in the near future I will own all 10 issues. But that's not my holy grail is to own those, but it's also to own other timely books and also DC books, but those are like the most expensive out of all of them. So that's why I put them as the holy grail. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. Dr. Roncho, based on brief artistic work presented. Yeah. I want to get Foxhole #2. It says Big Geek Comics. Let me look up that cover. Foxhole #2, because my favorite Foxhole comic is #3. No, not #3, #1. What am I talking about? Um, no. Oh, okay. So I know issue #2. Issue #2 is it's a pretty. I'm telling you, all these Foxhole books are really nice. The ones that Simon and Kirby worked on. Yeah. Issue #2. This Simon and Kirby cover is nice. Uh, let's see. I have on this issue. What issue is this? Yeah, I have issue #3, and I believe I have issue #4 too. Um, I don't think Foxhole issue #7. I don't think that that's Simon and Kirby. Um, okay, so if you guys are not familiar with uh Foxhole, I'll just show you issue #1, which is the one that I want to get. So that's Foxhole #1. Just a great Simon and Kirby cover. A Day at the Beach. This is my favorite Foxhole comic. Yeah, yeah, I own Foxhole 3, 4, and 6. #7 I don't care for. Um, #5 is fine. #2 for me is fine, but #1's the one that I want the most. Um, wow. Yeah, Dr. Von Chiller, you really have great knowledge. Also, it's just really great. So I'm gonna put some of the books that I got on the screen for the people who weren't here earlier. Cause more people have started to roll in. Um, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, so I have some Tales of Suspense books coming. Um, I am not the type of person to usually sell books. It's just something that I haven't really done with comics. I don't mind people selling comics or flipping comics. That's just me. I don't mind. Um, but the fact that I had to sell some of my Marvel books so I could afford to get Captain America #1, one of the pages, um, it actually, I kind of like the feeling. You get the books, you read them, you enjoy them. Like, you don't have to flip them right away. But I don't know, because it also allows you to have a new opportunity to get new books and something that you really want. So some of the Marvel books I get, I don't know, I think almost all my Marvel books I'm open to trades or yeah, but these books I really like, so I don't think I'll open these up to trade or sell or uh but yeah, also, okay, so Dr. Von Cho says, I'm so old that I'm not collecting anymore, but I'm living. Okay, to you. Please keep. Oh, with me, If you don't know the story, most of these, well, now, not most of these, like half of these comics up here, used to be almost all of them, but now half of these comics up here, if you don't know, my dad read comics as a kid, and, he really, his dad used to get comics and used to bring them home in a box and give them to my dad and his siblings, and they would read them. And my dad kept a few of the ones that you see up here, and but he never really talked about them until one day I found them in the back of the closet. They had a bag, but they weren't boarded. They just had a bag of each one, and so I took them out. I bought bags. I took care of them, and with me taking care of them, it really ignited a spark in him. I guess it brought him back to his childhood and seeing comics again, seeing them being loved, and now that I have a passion for them. So we kind of like almost. He's not too involved in collecting, but he'll be like interested in what I get or like completing a run. Like the Adventures of the Fly, he wants issues 1 through 4 too. And now that I bought the other issues, now we have completed them, and it's just something I don't know, has more of a personal feeling, and so I'm definitely going to keep doing what I'm doing. Um, and so I thank you for that, Dr. Bronchilla. Um, Let me think. Uh, okay, and I would like to get. I haven't done a live stream in a while. I'm not going to be on for too much longer, but with this Captain America Comics #1 page, this is the most I've ever spent on anything comic related. Um, I was like I said, I'm not really gonna get anything slab, but I was thinking maybe I should get this page slabbed. Uh, it's reportedly not trimmed, so I'm thinking maybe the best thing is to get it slabbed. Um, what I'm definitely going to be doing is I actually have comic skins, and I'm gonna be switching it out and putting it. But I am thinking, because I will be at the Big Apple Comic Con show, and if you guys are there, I would like to meet up or something, like, at least say hi. Um, but they have CGC there, and I was thinking about sending it in to get. It's not going to get a grade, it's going to be a PG page. But just so that it's, like, going to be in a slab, I think actually I might do it for the page. If any of you guys want to share your ideas on whether I should or shouldn't, whether it's worth the money, I don't even know how much CGC charges to slab a page. Let me go on their website. I mean, if you guys want to share your opinion on what I should do, that'd be great. Whether the page whether I should get it graded or not. Really just to preserve it. How to submit pre-screen service and fees. Yeah. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Modern. No. Reholder. Oh, to rehold a book is $15. So what if I were to rehold this book from a CBCS to a CGC? In my opinion, the CGC cases are nicer, but for me, it's not even. Forget it, it's not even. Now I'm just. From what I could see, 56 business days. Wow, that's a long time. It's going to be. It's going to be $27. Oh, John Williams Jr., you're going to Big Apple Comic Con? I mean, I'll be there. Let me think. Where am I going to be most of the time? I'll be walking around the shows. I'll be stopping by Stranko's booth real quick, get a few books signed. And I hope to buy an original piece of art from Ramona Fraden. Really like her art. I believe Super World Comics is going to be there. Um, and I have some friends who friends with Super World Comics, so I'll be at their booth a little, just hanging out, talking. Yeah. So we'll set something up, but I am thinking whether should I get this book rated. Uh, how much does it cost to get a Golden Age page graded by CGC? What's some not even give me a right answer? Let's see. Uh, okay, so John Williams Jr. asked the question, what are some good booths with good deals? I think I told you before it'll be my first con. Okay. So at conventions, it really doesn't matter what booth you go to. I shop at all booths. I go to all booths. But the thing is how good you're at haggling prices. Oh, do you know what that book is worth? The scarcity of that book. Like these books up here, not every dealer will have these books at the con. But one book that's guaranteed to be at almost every dealer is, let's say, Captain America 100. That's like almost all the dealers have that, or like a good chunk of them. But you'll be lucky. I can guarantee you that there's not going to be one dealer there that has every single one of these books right now at once, like at the con. So it's also about the scarcity of the book. Um, Depends on for me at a con. Um, Marvel books, DC books, especially the Marvel books, they for the dealers they move faster. Um, these books these have a niche audience, so there are a lot of Simon and Kirby fans, and they have deep pockets. But compared to Marvel fans, there are a lot of Marvel fans primarily because of the movies now, and so yeah. So if you know, like, okay, perfect. Let's take this Avengers 5. This book, I can guarantee you more than well, I can guarantee you at least one dealer there has an Avengers 5. That's like guaranteed. Um, okay, let's say all of them are raw. And this one dealer, and let's say they're all 3.0s, okay? For example. But you go to this dealer and he has the Avengers 3.0, and he says, I want, let's say, $100. But another dealer has the 3.0, which, and he has it for $120. But his 3.0 presents better than the first guy's 3.0 for $100. But the $100 guy is willing to go down to $70, but the $120 guy is willing to go down $115. Me personally, I'd rather buy the one that presents a little less better and buy it for $70. It's all about what type of deal. I don't know. I'm making this really complicated. It really depends on the dealer. If you bought from him before, if you guys bought from him before, if he knows you. Also, how much you buy. If you're buying 20 comics compared to 2, you're buying two $1 comics compared to $25 comics. You also have to know how to bargain. this guy wants $20 for this comic, but you could get the same exact comic there, and the guy's willing to go down to $14 there. I'd rather go to the $14 guy. So I really don't stick to one dealer. Like, I don't buy all my books from one dealer. Like on eBay, you don't. There are multiple copies on eBay, but you don't buy from the same dealer only. Go to different dealers and see what they have and how much they're asking. So I really go to different dealers. It's also, like I said, scarcity. What dealer has what? But I also recommend you go to a comic book shop that I go to that's right by Big Apple Comic Con. It's called Mysterious Time Machine, and the owner, Roger, Saturday, it's Big Apple Con Saturday, Sunday. He will be in at Mysterious Time Machine. You take the E train, was it downtown? To West 4th Street. You get out and his shop's right there. You get really good deals there. He goes by the guide, but he's very flexible in price. Yeah. See, John Williams Jr. Exactly, Roger. Where did that card go? So I go to, at the con, I go to Super World Comics. I go to, one place I will be is, I can talk to one of the workers. I don't know if he'll, what's that called? Heroes Aren't That Hard to Find convention. Sheldon Drum's booth. He usually has a large booth. I can talk to one of the I've been at this hobby for half a century, and there's a bazillion books out there now. But I can't stress enough about education in the books you truly desire the most. Exactly. And that's what it came down to when I had to get that Captain America Comics #1 page. And notice had. It's it's not the rarest book out there, Captain America Comics #1, but it's not the only copy out there in terms of how many copies of the issue there is, but there's very few copies that we could afford. And so when I had the opportunity to at least get part of it, I had to jump on the opportunity. And I wanted Captain America Comics #1, one of the pages, more than I wanted my Tales of Suspense 65 and 75 and Captain America 105 and these books I sold to get that page. So if you know what I mean, it all comes down to how much you want something, how much you're willing to pay, and how rare the book is. And also, is the book overpriced? How's the market value? A book like Forever People #1, for example, that book's starting to rise based on movie speculation. Are you buying the comic to complete your Forever People run? Or are you buying the comic just to have the first Dark Side? It all bit more as of late. I'm gonna make some research over them. Like Hero for Hire #5. Hero for Hire #5, is that a key issue? Yeah, you just heard, is that the key issue? I am not strong in my knowledge of, especially Marvel, DC, anything from 1970 and later. My Silver Age knowledge of Marvel is but my Golden Age knowledge of Marvel, my Golden Age knowledge, and personally, is pretty strong, but not my Bronze Age or anything like that. Okay, so there are first appearances here. But Big Apple Comic Con, yeah, Captain America Comics #1 is definitely a book I one day hope to get. I hope to get the actual, the whole book. Yeah. But there's a lot of books I like, not just that book, but that happens to be probably the most expensive book on my want list. For me, Action Comics #1 is a great book to have. I would love to own it, but is it a book? If you want to give me that for my birthday present, I'll take it, sure. But would I trade it to get Captain America Comics 1 through 10? I think I would. But that's just me. someone would trade Captain America Comics 1 through 10 for an Action Comics 1. But like I said, it comes down to scarcity, how much you want it, how much it's worth. All these things play a factor, and also patience. For me, when I started to want Captain America Comics #1 about 2-3 years ago, I really wanted it. For me, patience is the key. We always hear people stress patience, and it gets annoying when people start talking about patience. We get it, but there's really nothing more important than patience. Dr. Von Schiller said, there's more than one copy out there, and another copy will roll around sooner or later. Dr. Von Schiller said, "Good for you, John Williams Jr. Research to ground you in realistic price and availability. Add some patience, and you've got winning deal." Exactly. Like I said, patience. I've wanted this book for about a year now. The Justice Trap's Guilty #56, and I could have bought it for $95, and I could have bought the cheaper one for $54, a lower grade, like a 2.0. But you see, I was patient. I saw that the one on eBay wasn't selling for $95, so I made an offer, and we came to a agreement, and I got the book. Even if we hadn't made an offer, even if we hadn't made a deal for this book, eventually I would own one because I wanted this book, and eventually I would have gotten it. But yeah, so patience is key. Sometimes you also have to let the book find you. And what I mean by that is, for example, Justice Trap's The Guilty #2 I have up there. You probably can't see because of the glare. Well, you can see it a little bit. It's the one with the sniper cover next to the right. I've always liked that cover with the sniper cover. You could barely see. You can't really see. A guy wearing a hat. I've always liked that cover. Was I, did I want it? Yeah. Did I want I want Captain America Comics #1? No. But on eBay one day, I just typed in Justice Trap's Guilty, and I was scrolling through, and I found this one, and it was about to end the bidding, and it was way under market value. It was for $40. So, I watched it slowly, and I won it for I think $64 shipped. That book in that condition is worth $200. So, or $250. But yeah, so that's what I mean by let the book find you. I like the book, and I liked the book before, but I wasn't going out of my way to get it, and the book found me. So that's what I mean by letting the book find you. I want to complete the Fighting American run. I have issues 1, 3, 6, and Harvey reprint #1. And I'm missing the ones in between. And do I want it? Yeah. Am I willing to go out of my way to get it? No, because I will own it one day. It's just patience. Yeah, so I think it's great that we're basically sharing knowledge and tips. But yeah, I hope to get a Stuntman #1, Stuntman #2 eventually, Boy Commandos #2. If anyone has the Boy Commandos out there, #2, and you like #5 better, I'll trade you my #5 for your #2. Just saying. Even if your #2 is a lower grade, I personally don't mind. I like both issues, but I like #2 better. But that's personal preference too. But yeah. So I think I'm gonna end the stream now. It's actually how long is this? Oh, 44 minutes. That's way longer than I intended. But I will be doing an unboxing of the Marvel books getting here, which I think I might turn around and flip some of those books. There's none that I really love, and I think I paid market price for those. So basically, just try to get my money back for those. Because there's really nothing that I really love out there. The Tales of Suspense books, I really like issue #65, 63, which retelling of the origin of Captain America, which was pretty much the same origin as Captain America Comics #1. But yeah, so, and I'll do a live unboxing of those and of my Adventures of the Fly when they come. I'm so excited to get issues 1 through 4 finally done. And so, yeah, so, does Dr. Fonchilla have Instagram? Let's see. Before I go, let's see if Dr. Fonchilla has Instagram. Let's see. Oh my god, this is... Hang on, guys. I don't know. How would I... Oh, okay. So he wrote, YouTube is the only social media I do. I'm old. Johnny, Dr. Monchilla, you're not that old. Definitely dive into my archives or email me at... Okay, so he left his email. Okay. So, you know what, Dr. Monchilla? I think I might have your email. Yeah. Well, I think I already have your email, but I'm gonna sign off now. John, message me at on Instagram. We'll set up something with Big Al Comic Con. Yeah. So, thanks so much for watching, everyone, and I will be doing the live stream when I get those books. So I'm gonna end it now. So.